Hello and welcome back to our channel, Shine Like a Diamond. We are happy to have you here, and today we are back with yet another amazing guest, Lindsay Allen. Hello, my darling.
Hello, thank you.
Hi, thank you for being here with us. And we're going to find out a bit about Lindsay Allen, but today we are tackling a topic on dyslexia. Utilizing dyslexia, because as we've been talking through, we are covering different conditions so that we can bring a bit of more awareness out there and a bit of inclusivity, so the world can be a better place if we can all kind of understand a little bit more instead of judging each other, because sometimes people out there, they do things without knowing, and knowledge is key, as we know. So Lindsay here is going to help us with a lot of information, and I cannot wait to learn, because I am not also very educated on dyslexia. So first, we're going to find out something more about Lindsay. He's going to tell us a bit about himself, because all I know is he's a very successful guy, and he's done a lot in his life, and being able to be where we are today, we will find out how dyslexia resonates within him. But first of all, let's find out more about Lindsay. So welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Tell us more about yourself.
Well, I'm Lindsay Allen. Obviously, by my accent, I'm not Scottish. I came here from Newcastle 25 years ago, and that was mainly for work. My main work is a database administrator, so I look after databases and IT. I do different areas within the database. But when I moved to Scotland, I joined a company, and if you got your telephone bill, your mobile telephone bill from companies like Orange, O2, all these different companies, it was our software that was actually providing those bills.
Oh.
So my first job was, I was defined as the Mr. Fix-It in the databases. So the company I was working for, we used to work in many countries all over the world. So I used to get, used to say, oh, we need you to go to France for a week. Well, that's fine. And, you'll be traveling 1 week a month. I thought, oh, that's great. No problem. I like that. And then within about 3 months, I was traveling 4 weeks a month. So I was leaving the house on a Friday, on a Sunday night, Monday morning, coming back Friday night, Saturday morning.
Wow.
And I was doing 2-3 countries in a week.
Jeez.
So I've been to Holland, France, Germany, Syria, Jordan, Russia, Turkey, Ireland, London, so I've traveled all these different countries, even a little country called La Réunion Island.
Where is that?
Which is 100 miles off Mauritius.
See? Well-traveled as well.
But but everything at the time when I was doing that, there was no real internet. Internet wasn't there. So it had to be in my head or on my laptop.
Okay.
So I was doing a lot of traveling. And that's basically what I called it, my craft. And then when I was left that job, I then started doing what's called a managed service. So I was actually looking after a number of clients and running their systems for them. So when they had problems, they were coming to me, and I was helping fix the problems. And obviously there was a team of people I was working with to deliver that. And obviously not many jobs, a lot of jobs, and then different companies, and then on top of the managed service, providing consultancy to other companies. So that's me from a database academic perspective. So I started that when I was 21.
Wow.
I'm 56 now, nearly 57.
You don't look your age. I wish we could all age like fine wine.
So a lot of travel, a lot of clients, a lot of situations. I suppose from a non-work perspective, I've done a lot of natural bodybuilding when I first started.
I think we can tell from your frame. We can tell.
I do a lot of walking, but like now I do I had a lot of job by DIY, job by gardening. I like getting out and about. So it's been very interesting.
So you've had a good life, basically.
Today it's been a good life, mixed life. Lots of highs and lows in my life. I was married for 20 years. Sadly, that didn't go so well. messy divorce. That's the way it goes. You meet somebody. I met somebody new, and sadly, she passed away this year due to lung cancer.
No.
So again, that resets your thought process and what you want and want to come out of life. And how you want to move forward.
You look like a very positive person, the way you're carrying yourself, because with everything you're saying now, that losing your wife is not long ago, and yet you just look very upbeat.
I mean, I think you got to accept the facts, I mean, when we found the news, we had 15 months. So there was a lot of planning. There's a lot of planning in that, and you do set yourself up. You prepare yourself for that time, but it still doesn't make it any easier. But then you have to step away and then say, right, okay, well, you got to keep going. There's no point sitting and wallowing in I suppose in your self-pity.
I agree with that. One thing I'll say about having Lindsay here today, we are so honored because before we've had guests, yes, but every guest we've had, usually they speak for their children and telling us stories about their children. But today, Lindsay is actually sharing his own experience. So we get to hear it firsthand from the horse's mouth, which is very important because as we know, most of the neurodivergent conditions, some of these children don't have the voice. They don't have a way that they can tell you this is what is going on. But Lindsay is going to be able to actually have this conversation. You can hear he's had a very good life, very busy life, and he's achieved a lot. So like you, I want to know more. How does this neurodivergent condition, the dyslexia, kind of come into your life? How does it resonate with you?
It's interesting that because, I mean, obviously, I think I call them labels, so there's lots of these labels that are thrown around today. Today being the last 5-10 years. When I I'm, as I say, 56 now. When I was growing up, going through school, I used to struggle a lot with going through school, and it was just and it was I didn't find out until I was 30.
Wow.
Right. And I went all through that time. And it was interesting because my ex-wife at the time, her sister was a school teacher. And we were all sitting around talking, and I'm saying, I says, I'm dreadful at spelling and this, that, and the other. And she says, well, you just use the dictionary. I says, well, I can't use the dictionary. What do you mean? Well, I says, well, if I don't know how to spell a word, how do I look it up in the dictionary?
Correct.
And then she says, oh, right, yeah. Then she went away and she thought about it. She said, have you got dyslexia? I said, I don't even, I don't know. And then she went away and they come back and she'd done a few tests. And she says, you're actually dyslexic.
Oh, my dear.
Which, I think, all right, okay, fair enough, but, I was 30-year-old. I got to that point in my life and I'd naturally developed my own coping mechanisms, So, for example, I say now, even now, I don't read words like normal people would read words.
Okay.
I actually remember words.
Wow.
Right? There's a difference there.
Yeah.
Now, remembering words, it's not easy. You have to remember them. But not only do you have to remember them in order to read them, you also then have to remember how a word's spelt. So I remember those. But I know today it's like I might use a word every day. For 6 months, and that's it ingrained in my mind. But if I don't use it for a while, it sort of like slips back and it disappears, right? And then somebody will say, "Oh, I'll use a word like environment," right? Now, I used to use that all the time when I was first programming, and it was a word that I used, so I was very familiar with. And then I had to spell it the other week, and I couldn't, right? Because I couldn't remember what it looked like. So it's that ability to remember those words and build them up. So it all goes back to sort of, I suppose, conditioning and getting used to doing that. And that was just that's how I've sort of coped a lot of the time with that. Now, moving forward to when I was probably 30 was when computers are kicking off big time. We've got word processing and we've got error correction even on your phone now. So it does help because I can have a stab at a lot of things and it'll bring up examples, so I can get very close, and that's sort of a way of getting around that.
Oh wow.
The other thing as well is, like, from a reading perspective, I've almost got to read every word on the screen. And that's just the way, again, my brain sort of
Yeah.
works, you know. Now, again, that goes back to when you look at numbers and processes. I'm very good at that because I can look at something, and that's why I excelled in computing, because basically it's a fixed process,
right,
where you you know, it's like you add two numbers together.
Yeah.
You know, you follow a flow through. You're writing a program. A program is very logical. It's always step by step by step.
Yeah.
So my mind could work at that level. Right. So I was quite happy to programming, because it's right or wrong. It's, you know, true or false. That's basically the bottom line of computing.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's true or false.
Yeah.
Right or wrong. What or zero.
Yeah.
That is the thing. Where people talk about English, right? And suddenly there's all these rules in English where, you know, I before A except after this, and this has got to have that, and this has got to have this. And then, that's all changes because of this. And say, whoa, hang on a minute, well, I can't process that.
Yes.
You know, even though the rules, they're not really rules, but you know, they're they're all just made it up as they go along almost, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And I struggle to pass, like, for example, English.
Yeah.
But I've done well at maths, done well at physics, done well at chemistry.
So anything to do with numbers, basically.
Anything with numbers and a process.
And process.
You see, because when you do maths, like solving problems in maths, it's a process that you follow through.
That's very true.
To get to the answer.
Yes.
Where English, there's not a process. So I was struggling, and one of my best friends now was actually my old school teacher.
Yeah.
And he's one of my friend now, is because we've done a lot of out of school activities where we've done walking and hiking and youth theatre, that sort of thing. But he obviously recognised that I was struggling with English, struggling to fail my English exam.
Yeah.
So what he actually done is he actually sat me down and he gave me some rules for English.
Oh.
Right. Now, those rules, he says, it's not pretty from an English perspective. He says, but it's correct. It's, you know, grammatically correct. He says, as long as you can work on the spelling, he says, it'll get you through the exams. And that's what I've done. Okay. So I developed a style to deal with that, you know. And that's obviously from a reading and sort of writing perspective. But then when you look at numbers or sometimes I struggle with numbers. Yeah. Right. And when I say I struggle with numbers is if I say it gives you a telephone number. Right. You will say to us, you know, 0775. Correct. You know, and I'll go 0577. And it's like,
it just turns the numbers around.
And I don't even know I've done it. Oh. Right. So again, when I'm on the phone to people and they're giving me numbers and information like that, it's like, okay, what's the number? So what they'll do is they'll go, and I'll go, and then 7, and I'll repeat it back. So the style there is that I'm repeating each digit that they give me, but they give me that one at a time.
So you cannot do a few numbers at a time.
Yeah, you know, but sometimes when I say a number, and I'll say like 5 digits. I might just take 3 letters and write those 3 down and then get the next ones. Okay. So in small chunks I can deal with, but when I get them all at once, it
becomes overwhelming.
You're right. It's overwhelming, and it's quite difficult to actually get on top of that. Yeah. So that's my own personal sort of like what I've developed over the years. Yeah. You know, but going back to the reading, which I think is quite good as well, as my ex-wife. She was heavily into marketing and communications. Okay. And she used to read like a book in like 2-3 days. You know, she was fantastic at that. Yeah. But whenever she had stuff that she needed proofread, she used to give it to me. Oh. Right. Because I read every word and it takes me a long time to read stuff. Yeah. But I read every word and I actually have to understand every word and I have to make sure that it fits in my own head. Yeah. So where somebody like who's very good with English and very good with words, what happens is actually my old teacher, Peter, he has the ability to almost like go down a book and almost look down the middle of the page and
just go down with it.
Go down that, and you can actually read it and fill in the gaps. And you've seen all these things on the internet where people put words in the swap digits round or whatever and miss letters out, but you still read it as though it's normal. What's happening is your brain's filling in those gaps. Okay. And what happens obviously with myself, and I guess other people with different levels of dyslexia, is that the brain doesn't fill in those gaps. Okay. Right? So I have to read every word. So what happens is when my ex-wife, she used to write a document, right? She said, would you read that? I'd read it. And, things like your word processors and all of those, Word and all that. It checks if all the spelling's correct.
Yes.
But sometimes the words are mixed up, or and I used to pick up on errors like that.
Yeah.
So again, that was a strength that I could pick up on.
Absolutely amazing. I don't know about you, but I'm learning a lot. And to even hear the story of how the brain, I know we say brain is complex, but how beautiful is it that you're able to find a way where you're, tweaking. It's like jigsaw, basically.
Yeah.
And you're able to get to where you are today and how you've gotten here. I'm learning a lot, and thank you for sharing. And that's what I said. The difference about today is we are actually hearing from the horse's mouth. He is explaining, and you can hear detail to detail of what he's been through and where he's gotten to and how he's managing to move on in life to end up with such an amazing, exciting career. So join us back, because he has a lot more to share and we need to hear more. So you being here, thank you very much, and join us again. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.